children instead of just being like, well, their life's not going to be worth it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm actually a product of a teen pregnancy, and I could have been aborted. I am super thankful that I wasn't. And I tell my mom, I was adopted. I got to meet my mom later on in life. And
Your biological mom.
my biological
Yeah.
mom. And I told her, I'm like, I am so thankful that you went. And I mean, my grandma, she was hush hush, put her in a closet, basically, you know. And then I was taken. She lived in Oregon. She drove down to California. She had me. And then they went back up, and it was like, oh, she was on vacation for 9 months. And so I got to meet her, and I just told her, I'm like, you know, I know it must have been really hard and a really huge sacrifice, but I so appreciate you allowing me an opportunity to be here. And she told me, she said she thought about it, and she just felt at the end of the day that she couldn't do that. And we have a great relationship. I mean, we're not, you know, mother-daughter relationship, but
No, but yeah,
been able to have a good relationship.
Well, I'm very glad that she was able to make the choice that was right for her. I mean, I know it. I mean, this viewpoint might be a little bit foreign to you, but I personally, if my mother had wanted to have an abortion, I would have been totally fine with her having one. Like,
Well, you wouldn't know, I guess.
I wouldn't know. And also, I just, the idea of her having to suffer with something that she didn't want, I just would never wish that on anybody.
So can I ask your point of what is the, like, is it because they just don't want a child? Like, what would be the reason that it would be okay for a woman to have an abortion to you?
Oh, there's so many reasons. First one, in the case of ectopic pregnancy, one is to save the life of a pregnant person. Like, so we know that ectopic pregnancies have a serious risk of rupturing, leading to a patient bleeding out, and then not only not being able to have children in the future, but dying in the process. And then so many people have so much stigma about having premarital sex, and then people finding out that they are pregnant and then not getting the care that they need, like even if it means an abortion, just because they don't want anyone to find out that they would die because of it. And I just think that if we make sure that abortion is safe and legal, and that we give people excellent access to contraception of all kinds, we can minimize the need for abortion care in the first place. And the second, I think they should be able to access it really if you don't want to be pregnant. And I know that it's a very different viewpoint from what you have, and but I completely respect yours. I don't think that it's appropriate for a government to decide what someone should do with their own pregnancy. Just the same way as it's completely inappropriate for, say, a doctor to say, "Hey, I think you should have an abortion." Like, none of your business. Like, that's a pregnant person's choice.
So I totally agree that the government should not be able to tell us certain things. I don't think that that's the government's right, but I think the government likes to play God, and that's not their place to be. So according to the tubal, like I said, it's a very, very rare case that women even find out that they are pregnant with a tubal.
And it's only fewer than 1% of all pregnancies.
Right.
It's very rare,
So
thankfully.
part of me is like, I don't really like the idea of that because one, it's almost like not really even an issue because by the time they find out about it, the baby's most likely already passed away in the womb.
And hopefully the woman's okay.
And like I said, so actually, I believe the study was in England. Don't quote me on that. But if you look it up, there has been at least 3 successful doctors that have been able to take the babies where the woman ended up going in. They found out super early because usually you don't even have an OB appointment until you're like 9 to 12.
Exactly. Of course.
And they were able to see there was a tubal, and they were able to relocate baby to the womb, and that baby grew and was completely fine. So it's like doctors should be able to study that, and we should be able to move forward with that in those rare cases. However, the second one, I'm going to completely disagree on you. I don't think we should ever punish a child to death by fear or lack of, I don't love you enough, I don't want you enough, I would rather have a career over you, because we would never allow that in society with if I'm like, oh man, this 5-year-old is like really difficult, I'm just going to kill him off.
Oh,
because, you know, so.
But that's where I'm sorry, I interrupted.
No, you're fine.
No, please.
So I think that if we can't apply it to other situations, or like, my husband scared me, so I'm going to kill him off so that he doesn't harm me or hurt my body. If we can't apply it to other situations, we definitely shouldn't apply it to our most innocent, most vulnerable babies who really need protection. Like, the womb should be the safest place on this entire planet for our children. And yet, it's really, you know, most of them are dying in there. We have over 60 million children who have died in America since Roe v. Wade started.
Well, I don't think that's most, though, because if you look at you don't look at if we're defining like most pregnancies ending in abortion, that would mean that we have more abortions than we have births, and that's not the case.
We do currently. With this actually, and I know for a fact because you can look it up statistically, there is more Black children being aborted today than being born, and if that continues on, that Black population is actually going to die out very quickly.
As far as I've heard, there isn't any racial majority on who seeks abortion care.
I can,
but I could be wrong.
If you're comfortable with it, we could exchange, and I could send you information if you want. But if not, that's totally fine.
I've had some really scary experiences with people in a related organization to yours before, so I'd rather not share my content.
Totally fine.
Sure.
That's not about you. It's
I mean,
just
I can even tell you. I don't know if you have Facebook and you want to look me up and just look me up. That's fine.
The website too.
Yeah, and the website, but that won't directly come to me. But
there's also there's a website on there too. So
Okay.
yep.
But if you look up my last name is Gully, like Fern Gully, if that ages me.
Yeah. No, that doesn't. That's a good thing.
But, so Heather Gully, if you want to look me up online. And then if you ever are like, hey, I'm feeling like I need information on this, I can shoot you whatever I know, you know.
That's very kind of you.
Yeah, I mean, because the thing is, at the end of the day, I really appreciate having conversations like this. Because, you know, if you go your separate way and you never think about me again, then you never think about me again. But if if you wake up one night at 3 a.m. and you feel convicted, then look me up on Facebook. So,
Yeah, you never know where people's paths will,
you know,
will
and
come.
and I think true Christianity is like, look, I have no reason to judge you because